All right, guys. Well, first of all, definitely thank you for coming down tonight. We promise you that we will be delivering a lot of knowledge bombs. And the reason why we set up this seminar tonight was purely to educate you guys, to ensure that you can take something home away from here, and that you develop your knowledge and education when it comes to nutrition. So Stacey, I guess take it away. Give us a rundown why we started, or why we had this idea to set up this nutrition seminar.
So the reason why can you guys hear me, or do I need this?
Yeah,
I don't particularly like. Anyway, so the reason why we decided to hold this nutritional seminar is because we know there's so much conflicting information out there, and we just want to try and keep it as simple as possible, and for you to leave here with a clear vision of your nutritional information, and to walk away with, I suppose, a very clear and easy to understand knowledge base. And then we're obviously going to be using the nutrition Facebook group to further assist you along your nutrition journey. So basically what we want you to do today is, if you have any questions, please just ask as they pop in your head, so then we can address them then and there. And hopefully you'll leave with a lot of clarity today. So yeah, that's pretty much why we decided to run tonight.
Yeah, and I guess, even being in the fitness industry for the last 10 years myself, I felt as though there is so much information out there, and there is so much different opinions, there's so much different ways of doing things, and I myself have struggled with weight in the past because there is just so much out there, you don't know what's right. So tonight, we really wanted to make it clear and really easy for everyone to understand the basics of nutrition, but to the point where we're going to make it so easy for you to understand that once you implement this, it is something you can do for the rest of your life. So we don't want to overcomplicate things. We want to make it easy for you to understand. We're not going to give you a magic formula, because there is no magic formula. All right, we're not going to give you a secret equation, because there is no secret equation. We're just going to make it clear and simple so anyone can implement it in their life and implement it beyond this seminar. And at the end of the day, if you don't get anything straight away, that's completely fine. We're here to support you. That's what Body Revival is all about. Body Revival is here to support our members, to teach you guys, educate, and just really be able to influence your life in a positive way, and to ensure you live a healthier, positive life as well. I'll give you a quick background just about myself and my personal struggle, just so you know that I can relate to you, because at the end of the day, we are just human. So I have been in the industry for over 10 years. I was always, always had this really big passion about, being a strong looking lean, and this, amazing physique. I always looked up to bodybuilders, and did a bodybuilding diet, an old school diet back in the day, and got really, really lean. But I basically restricted my foods from eating brown rice, broccoli, and chicken. That was what I thought was the best thing to do. And yeah, I did get lean because I was restricting a lot of food. So did that for a while. That was back in my early 20s. And then from there, you can't sustain that long term. Food tastes like cardboard, and you sort of get over it. So you sort of get over it and you put on all this weight, and then you're like, shit, I've got to do what I did originally. I've got to go back to eating broccoli and brown rice and chicken. So I did that, and I'll drop a bit of weight and it would happen again. All right. So I'd constantly yo-yo all the time. And then I eventually did another diet because I was going to compete probably 3-4 years back, and I did the paleo diet. Everyone heard of the paleo diet before? Where you're basically eating everything that's, what's the description for it?
Basically they say it's food that has been gathered, fetched, plucked, so everything that is grown, and no processed food whatsoever.
In a natural form as possible. So you would eat foods, in the most natural form as possible. But there were certain rules that you had no gluten, you've got to eat at certain times. It was extremely restrictive, and I did get some pretty amazing results. I'm not gonna lie, pretty amazing results when I introduced that diet. But what I found then is, because I was so restricted with my nutrition, I had got down to about 77 kilos. Was pretty lean. I'll say I was down to 12 or so % body fat. Pretty happy with the way I looked, but wasn't happy with the nutrition side of things, and really struggled because it was nothing that I could sustain long term. And what we want to teach you today is something that's going to be sustainable for the rest of your life. Not for the next 4 weeks, not for the next 3 months, not for the next 2 weeks, but something that's going to be sustained for the rest of your life. So after that, I went on this binging rage, and I ended up, hitting my heaviest, which was about 90 kgs. That was the start of last year, and I looked at myself in the mirror one day. I'm like, I've got to do something. I've got to change the way I look. I've got to change the way I eat. I've got to change the way I do things, because there is no way I'm going to be able to enjoy life like this. Not only the way I look, but in terms of the nutrition side. So I had to find something that was sustainable long term. And then I spoke to a few coaches, I'd done a lot of research, I tried a lot of things on myself, and we figured out a really basic system that can be sustained long term. And that's what we want to introduce to you today. So in terms of the Body Revive nutrition, it's definitely changed over the last 10 years. And what I found, what we're going to educate you and teach you today, is something that can be sustained for the rest of your life, no doubt. Since then, since last year, I've now dropped 20 kilos. I'm the leanest I've ever been. I'm down to 8% body fat, and I'm really happy with my physique. And now I'm competing in a physique competition in 8 weeks' time. And there was no way I could have done that if I was, back to the old school paleo restrictive diet. So what I'm doing now, okay, is something that I know I can sustain for the rest of my life, and that's what I want to share with you, because I'm so passionate about nutrition and what I've learned, that for me to give you this knowledge is just going to be a blessing, because I want to see everyone's transformation, from this point on. So that's what I want to share. Remember, it's not about learning everything tonight, it's about continuing to learn things, because we'll continue to learn for the rest of our lives. Stacey, share us your story when it comes to nutrition.
So my story is vastly different from Aaron's, and I would probably say my relationship with food in the past has been terrible. So from around about 21 years of age to approximately 24, 25, I had anorexia. So basically my lowest weight was around about the 33 kilo mark, so I was quite little. And pretty much, in all honesty, it wasn't until I met Aaron that I would say I was slowly getting over that point of my life. So it took me a fair while to start to not be so scared of food. So from that point on, I tried numerous different diets, and I think, in all honesty, when you have gone through something like I had in terms of food disorders, anorexia, I don't think it ever really leaves you. So it's something that I probably will be dealing with for the rest of my life. I think it's just something that, it's a really bad demon that you pretty much have to deal with all the time. And look, I've come a long, long way from that, and I've learnt a lot. But yeah, I think I'm at a place here where I feel as though I am
comfortable, you feel it?
Yeah, comfortable, and I can, I don't really see food anymore as good or as bad. And I want to try and assist you guys as much as possible that, I think labeling food is a really terrible way to go. And I think we have to learn that we shouldn't really be excluding food from our diets, and we shouldn't be restricting food. It's all about inclusive eating, because really that's the healthy way your mind should be. So yeah, my relationship with food has been not great in the past, but you know, we're at a point now where I think, you know, I'm at a much, like probably the best I've ever been. Yeah, and I just want everyone to start to realise that labelling isn't the way to go. So, you know, we want you to try and realise that restricting food isn't the answer, or restricting any kind of food group is not the answer. So yeah, that's pretty much where my background falls.
Awesome. We ready to get started?
So a little bit of fun to start off. What I want everyone to do is stand up for me. So get out of these seats. Awesome. So what I'm going to do is ask you a few questions. So the first question is...
How many burpees we can do in a minute? Let's go.
Warm ourselves up. So remain standing if you have done any diet in the past. Anything. Remain standing. I thought that would be the case. Remain standing if you have eliminated a type of food group in the past, whether it be carbohydrates, whether it be sugar, whether it be... Oh, a few people sitting down. That's interesting. Now, remain standing if you have got some form of results, whether it be short-term results, long-term results, any form of results doing that diet. Okay. Now, remain standing if you could sustain that long-term, whatever diet it was. Okay, a few people. Oh, Sammy! Yay!
Sammy's our man!
So, what the purpose of... You can sit down now.
Sit down, Sammy. Take your moment of fame, mate.
The purpose of that exercise was basically to show you that any kind of diet that you have done, any form of elimination, you basically can't sustain long term. And we wanted to tell you or teach you today that when you go on a diet as such, we want you to start, not think of it as a form of a diet, but a form of a lifestyle, and also realise that you can sustain healthy eating or inclusive eating, flexible eating, however you want to call it, you can sustain that long term in a healthy way.
And can I just say something? If I've done it, I know it sounds so cliche, but if I've done it, every single person can do
Aaron
it.
loves food.
Oh, I love food so much. So much. All right, cool. So I guess the first, Stacey's going to take this away. She's going to give us a bit of a rundown about the basics, but really get people a bit of a clear understanding. So, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so basically the main aspects of your food, or the main aspects of the way you eat, I would say most of you probably do understand, or most of you do it in your daily routine. So things that we want you to obviously be eating throughout the day would be things like vegetables, which I'm sure we all do, good fats, your complex carbohydrates, your protein, and no restriction of food groups. So
anyone try to restrict carbs before? Hands up. Or everyone's done it, right? Anyone tried to restrict fat food before? Hands up. Majority of people, but the big one is let's restrict carbs because carbs help us lose weight. Isn't that right? That's what everyone thinks. So when you Google what makes you lose weight, how do I lose weight on Google, it's going to say low carb diet. That's what comes up on Google. So what we want to do is give you the reasons why we are not restricting any food groups whatsoever, and the importance of every food group. Awesome, go for it, Stace.
So basically, as you can see, we've broken it down. So with protein, why is protein important in your diet? Why is it mandatory for you to be including protein in your diet? So, you know, things like it helps you retain your muscle and it helps you build your muscle. So we all want to retain what we have and we all want to build a little bit more. So that's why it's really important to include protein in your daily intake of food. In terms of carbohydrates, it's your main fuel source. You would not try and drive your car without putting petrol in it. How can you possibly try and get the most out of your body if you're not giving your body the fuel it needs to be moving, to be functioning properly? So carbohydrates is your main fuel source. It's extremely, extremely important. In terms of fats, it absorbs nutrients, and you'll find when you have good fats in your diet, things like your hair will be, feel better, your skin will look better, your teeth, your eye colour, the white part will be really white. So fats are extremely, extremely important to be including in your diet.
And it keeps you warm.
Yes.
I'm dieting at the moment and I feel so cold.
Vegetables, fibre. So we all want to be going to the toilet regularly, so make sure, vegetables, they help you with, in terms of going fibre, your vitamins, your minerals. And in terms of sugar and alcohol, like we said before, we're not restricting foods, but remember they don't have a high beneficial nutrient value. They don't really provide you with anything, any I suppose, benefits, but it's an enjoyment value. So
that's why we're not telling you
in.
to restrict foods. Obviously, everyone's got a social life, everyone's got things to do. Alcohol is sometimes a part of someone's social life, so don't restrict it. You know what I mean? Because once you start restricting foods, you start to binge and you start to overeat. So this is why you need to have every food group or every macro in your diet, because once you start restricting, you'll start binging, and we will go on to speak about further of that. Anyone who's tried to restrict foods like pastas or carbs or breads will no doubt binge. Hands up if you've binged before because you've tried to restrict. Boom, what happens? Boom.
It's just about being smart about, the foods you're eating, your portion sizes, that's where it's going to come down to. In terms of different types of food, so again, I've broken it down. So different types of protein, obviously these are more your animal protein sources. There are your vegetable-based protein sources, but chicken, turkey, salmon, tuna, your red meats, kangaroo, etc. Then you've got your complex carbohydrates. Why complex carbohydrates? Because they're slow releasing, so they keep you fuller for longer. So things like brown rice, quinoa, sweet potato, fruit, that kind of stuff. And then you've got your fats. So, your avocado, your nuts, oils. And the reason why I've said just be a little bit more cautious or careful with your fats is because they are higher in calories. So when you're getting a handful of nuts, for argument's sake, and snacking on those, you could quite easily be racking up around about 300 to 400 calories in that small handful, not realising. So that's, I suppose, why I said just be cautious with your fats and how much you're actually inputting into your daily food intake.
Awesome. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about, I guess, the nutrition structure that I follow. I don't like to call it a diet, the nutrition lifestyle I follow, and which everyone else should follow, because all these diets that happen, paleo, what else is there? Name herbal shit. Sorry, Herbalife. What else is there? There's 5-2. What else? Hands up. Name more diets.
Gluten-free.
Gluten-free. Atkins.
Yes, that's a good one.
You know what I mean? All these diets, you know what their main aim is? And do you know why they get results? Is purely because they restrict the fuck out of calories. They minimize your calories, so you're no doubt in your mind going to get results. 100%, it's a proven result. You will get results from these diets, because all it is restricting food, restricting calories, so you're going to drop a shitload of weight, which I'm going to talk to you about later. The way any diet or any way to lose fat is very, very simple, okay? First thing is calories, all right? So calorie is a unit of measure, okay?
Every food has calorie in it.
Every food has a calorie in it.
Except water. That's not really a food.
Calories consumed must be either burnt or stored. So if you consume, really simple, right? understand this. If you consume more than you burn, what's going to happen? Hands up. You're going to store it. Awesome. You're going to put on weight. Understand that concept? Really simple. If you eat more than you burn, you're going to put on weight. What all these diets aim to do is reduce calories. All right, which is not a bad thing, but when reducing calories in such massive amounts, that's going to cause some detrimental issues. All right, so simple. That's calories. So what I tend to do, I tend to count my calories. All right, I'm not going to do this for the rest of my life. I do it now just to educate myself, and that's what I want everyone to eventually implement as well. All right, just so you understand how many calories there are in certain foods. All right, like Stacey said with the nuts and avocados. You know, having that handful, you don't realize that you're actually consuming 500 to 600 calories in that small handful, whilst your body only may need 2,000 calories to work throughout the day. So boom, in that handful, there's already 500 calories. Cool? You had a question, John?
What's the average calorie intake a person should have?
So that's going to all depend on each individual, which we'll go through as well, and we'll tell you how to figure that one out too, okay? Cool. So next one is macros, all right? So macros, your proteins, your carbs, your fats, all right? They're your macros. So macronutrients is what makes up the calorie content of a food, all right? So 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. 1 gram of carbohydrates is 4 calories, 1 gram of fat is 9, and 1 gram of alcohol is 7 calories, all right? That just gives you an idea. This doesn't mean you have less fats, because we all need fats in our diet. Why do we need fats in our diet? Did we learn anything from the first segment? Hands up, why do we need fats in our diet? What does it do? Give me 2 things it does, Maria. Gives you nice hair, awesome. I need more fats, damn it. All right, what else does it do? Keeps it warm. What else? Yeah, it holds your nutrients as well. So there's so much benefits of fat. So we don't want to restrict any of this. But what we want to do is make sure we're not consuming more calories than we need throughout the day to keep us moving. Yeah, cool. Is everyone on the same page so far? Tell me if you're unsure of something. Hands up. I'm more than happy to slow down as well. All right, awesome. Cool. So energy balance, this is perfect, all right? So me and Stace sort of created this little concept here. So energy balance, the body burns a certain amount of energy to survive, all right, which is called your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, all right? Your body needs a certain amount of calories to breathe, to sit, and to do absolutely nothing throughout the day. So if I sit there watching TV throughout the day, me breathing, me, picking up the remote, or me basically
just
doing
the
nothing.
Energy you need to exist, basically.
Yeah, energy I need to just live. Normally, your body needs a certain amount of calories, okay? So I think for myself, I'm at about 1,850 calories just to sit there all day and do nothing, all right? Just for my existence. Cool. So why don't we drop calories, all right? So to get results, all right, it's not about always dropping calories, because what happens? You start off at, say, 2,000 calories, you get some amazing results, all right? You're like, cool, I'm at 2,000 calories, what do I need to do next? My body adapts to 2,000 calories. I drop weight fast if I'm restricting calories. So everyone always says, I'm just going to stick on 1,000 calories, right? So you stick on 1,000 calories, bang, your body drops, your fat drops, everything drops. What happens after that? Who's restricted calories very minimally and got these amazing results? Anyone here?
The typical one for a female is like the 1,200 calorie. That's like the magic number that females think that they have to eat in order to lose weight. And that's extremely, extremely low. So like Aaron was just saying, that when you restrict, when you go hard and you go really low very, very fast, your body's going to adapt to that really quickly. Once you lose that weight initially, where are you going to go to from there? What, you're going to just keep dropping calories?
What happens? Do you then drop more calories to get more results. So from 1,200 calories, you're then hitting 1,000 calories, and then you get more results, and then you go down to 800 calories. You know what I mean? Do you sort of get the gist what's happening? So you feel like you always need to drop calories to get results, which is definitely not the right answer, okay? So you drop weight fast when you restrict calories, okay? And then what happens? You plateau. Where to from here? So then you drop more calories because you don't know what to do, okay? What happens when you drop more calories? You start to get dizzy, you can't think straight, you start to feel a little bit lethargic, you get really moody, constipated, weak, you can't train, you know, you get all these really bad side effects. And then what happens when that sort of hit kicks in? You're like, fuck this, I'm so hungry now. And then you start binging, you start overeating, and it actually lowers your metabolic rate. So this ruins everything. Your body then, once you start binging, your body then holds on. It goes into this starvation mode where everything you then eat and consume, your body's not going to burn because your body feels like it needs it. And then boom, you put on all this weight, which happened to me. You go from here and you put on all this weight. So you drop 15 kilos, you drop say 10 kilos in 6 weeks, and then all of a sudden your body will just put on 12 kilos in the next 3 weeks. Has that happened to anyone before, where you've dropped all this weight and then bang, you've gone back up because you've restricted calories so much? So there are different ways that you can actually get results without restricting calories at all. So it's just a vicious cycle. So we need to make sure all our nutrition is sustainable long term. If you're doing something now that's not sustainable for the next 1,000 years of your life, then you need to change that, and you need to change it quick. And that's what we want to be able to do, is educate you. All right. So that's why we need to strive for long-term sustainability. All right. If it's not sustainable long-term, then do not do it, because there is no such thing as a quick fix. All right. Nutrition and learning about nutrition is not a 1 week or a 2 week project. It's something that you're going to continue to learn for the rest of your life. So getting smaller results, okay, over a longer period of time is going to be a lot sustainable. I started at 90 kilos at the start of last year, and then I dropped some weight, and then I thought, I've got to go back to my old school ways because I want to drop more weight. I've sort of got myself out of that cycle, really applied the calorie and the macronutrient intake. So now that's why I'm competing, purely because I know I want to get my body to the next level, and my relationship with food is awesome. So I know I'm not going to binge eat. I know I'm not going to put on a ridiculous amount of weight like I did last time. All right. So does everyone sort of understand why not to drop so many calories? So any diet that we do, like a shake diet, that's what they aim to do, drop calories ridiculously quick, but there's a vicious cycle that's going to happen. So if we can get you guys into something that's going to be sustainable long term, that's what we want to do, is make sure we educate you and be able to implement it. You know, nutrition is supposed to be enjoyable, not restrictive. So next thing is how to drop fat. All right. So what we need to do to drop fat is, one, we need to find your basal metabolic rate. All right. The way you do this is a certain formula that we use to find everyone's basal metabolic rate. So we use your age, your height, your gender, and then we'll then use your activity levels as well. All right. So then what we do, and basically what it is, all right, it's an estimate of how many calories your body would need or need to do nothing and rest for 24 hours. So it's your basal metabolic rate, your BMR. All right, so the minimum amount of energy needed to keep your body functioning, including breathing and keeping your heart beating. All right. The next we do is then we find out your total calories you need inclusive of exercise, all right? So there's different formulas we use as well to say, all right, my body is at 1,800 calories to work throughout the day. if I'm increase my activity by 3 days a week, I can then consume 2,400 or 2,500 calories. All right, and then your basic. So if you eat more than your body burns, your body will gain fat. And consider macronutrients are not lacking as well. So you need to make sure you burn more than your body's actually consuming to get the results. All right, does everyone understand that? Is everyone sort of clear? Now with all these formulas that we use, they're a base. If you do need to know your formulas, we've got a couple of, tools and stuff that we use to find that out for you. Not saying they're 100% accurate, but it's a good baseline to begin with. And then to get results, what I personally do, say for example, I started at about 2,300 calories. All right, I got some results, and then I thought I didn't need that much food, so I went down to about 2,100 calories, which was easy for me to sustain as well. And the way I then wanted to drop more weight, I didn't just drop my calories again. I thought, all right, what I need to do, I need to implement some exercise, because exercise and movement will help me reduce more calories or burn more calories. So rather than restricting food all the time, I just did it in other forms. So I was moving a bit more. So that allowed me to drop some calories. And then I hit, say 78 kilos, and I was like, all right, well, my body doesn't need that many calories. It's like, a truck versus, a four-wheel drive. Your body doesn't need as much fuel. So all right, I'll reduce the fuel. So I dropped it down to about, another 50 calories less, and I was able to get more results. So your body and the amount of calories your body needs will change depending on your weight and the size of you, because say a big truck needs more fuel, a smaller car needs less fuel. Did you understand that concept? Cool. So yeah, it's not all about dropping calories. You can move more as you get more results. You can drop a little bit, but you don't need to be dropping ridiculous amounts. You want it to be sustainable, and you'd be surprised how far that actually gets you. All right. Next one is tracking macros. All right. So generally, I'll track my calories, so the amount of food I consume throughout the day, all right? So use 2,000 calories as an example. I need to consume 2,000 calories from protein, carbs, and fats, all right? Now, I'm not gonna consume 2,000 calories purely by eating just protein and fats. I need to incorporate some carbs. Same thing, I'm not gonna consume my 2,000 calories by just consuming carbs. All right, because all the other macros are important. So generally, what I like to do, all right, my protein's my most important, I'll say, or one of my most important, purely because it's gonna help me retain my muscle. So you need to eat 2 grams of protein per 1 kilogram of body weight to make sure you retain muscle and help you build muscle along the way if you're training too. The rest, all right, of your fuel sources will come from your carbs, will come from your fats, all right? So overall, my diet will generally consist of about 35% protein, 35% carbs, and 30% fats on a general basis, all right? Give and take 5%, it doesn't really matter. That's just a general percentage which I generally follow. So that's basically the way you do it. So you need to make sure your diet consists of 35% protein. And the way you do that, we'll go on to a little bit further, but by consuming your chickens, your proteins, your red meats, your beans throughout the whole day as well, plus you add in the carbs. But I'm not restricting any foods at all. This morning I had 5 crumpets, I had a wrap, I had ricotta cheese, I increased my calories today, and I had eggs as well. That was my breakfast. So yeah, I'm not restricting any foods. Cool. We will tell you how to track all this as well. Don't think, oh my God, I need to remember all these formulas. We will tell you how to track all these. Have I lost anyone? Awesome.
I know you say yes, you can track them with apps and things like that. Are you at a point now where you know what values each food component has?
Yes.
You don't even need to input it into apps?
Yeah. So I use the apps purely because I wanted to learn, and I did that for a good, I'd say for a good 6 months, just to learn all these different types of food that I was eating. I'm using the app now because I'm competing in 8 weeks, so I need to know exactly what's going in my mouth. When I finish competing, I will not need the apps anymore. If I really want to be particular, I need to drop more fat and I want to know exactly what's going in my mouth, I will use the apps just so I know I get a precise understanding, but I don't expect people to use the apps for the rest of their life.
You won't need to use the apps forever,
No.
so you'll start to learn visually what 100 grams of protein looks like, or what 150 grams of carbohydrates looks like with a certain food. So visually you'll start to learn that, but it does take a little bit of time. And if you feel like you're getting off track a little bit in terms of your eating, you can then grab out your app again and start doing it, just to make yourself a little bit more accountable. But you don't need to use your app forever. So don't think we're trying to tell you that you need to use your app for the rest of your life, because that's not the case at all.
The app is a great tool to learn. That's it. It's a great tool to learn what's in foods, and I'll explain to you, we'll explain this as well as we go along, why it's a good tool to begin with. Cool. So the benefits of counting macros and calories, and this is what we do to get results. This is what I do to sustain my results, is purely one, all right, we generally go the 80-20 rule.
So basically with the 80-20 rule, it means that 80% of your food is going to be quite, those vegetables, the proteins, the carbs, so quite, healthy, I suppose. And that 20% is going to be foods that you enjoy to eat, foods that you can indulge in a little bit. So if you're a person that loves your chocolate, or you love, some chips, that 20% is that component. So like we said before, and we're always going to be reiterating this, you're not restricting at all. So this is where the 80-20 rule comes into play.
We allow you can, by all means, have some chocolate, have some ice cream, have that little bit of a sneaky throughout the day.
And have no guilt associated with it, which is really, really important.
Because once again, we're not restricting, because when you restrict, you binge. I don't want you to restrict. All right, so allow yourself. If you got extra calories throughout the day, have a bowl of ice cream. You know what I mean? Your next one is you can indulge. Okay, you can enjoy yourself with a little less guilt. All right, because I guess even throughout the day, like if for example, you've got 2,500 calories to work with throughout the day, and Saturday night you're going out for dinner and you want a pizza. What you can do, just be a bit more cautious about what you eat throughout the day. Rather than having 2 eggs, have an egg white omelette with some spinach, and some pumpkin on the side. And then for lunch, you might have just a wrap with some chicken and salad. And then for a snack, you might have an apple. And then you go out that night and you can have a pizza or something like that. So just be a bit more cautious and allow yourself that bit more room if you want to indulge a little bit more as well. But making sure you're still having your proteins, your carbs, your fats the whole time. It's flexible, all right? It is flexible nutrition. You can have some processed food if you like. You can have stuff that you indulge in. You can have your pastas. You can have anything you want, just as long as you're not overeating. Because when you overeat at the end of the day, that's when you're going to consume too many calories, more calories than you need, and then you're going to put on weight. All right. So it's flexible. It's balanced nutrition. All right. There's no bullshit gluten-free, dairy-free, low carb. It's
You're
balanced.
pretty much in charge.
Yeah.
So you are in charge. If you have a food preference that you absolutely love, by all means include it in your daily intake. It's just about being smart about how you go about it. Portion sizes is obviously going to be a massive key. So yeah, that's it. Basically with counting calories and macros, it's all about flexible dieting. So being able to include foods, any kind of foods that you like, in moderation.
What I eat and what Stacey eats, or what Shika or Jen eats, coming from different cultures, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? We're not all following the same diet, but we can have different foods as long as we're within the calorie limitation and hitting our proteins, our carbs, our fats. You get me? So not everyone's following the same diet.
If you overindulge, say on a Saturday, and you burn your calories out, can you recover by cutting calories the next day, or can you only sort of push through that day?
No, you can. Yeah, so if you overindulge on a Saturday night and you've eaten, but you've got to be careful as well. I want to be a bit more cautious the
we're going to go
way.
into that anyway about banking
Yeah.
up and stuff. So we're going to be addressing that point later on.
Cool. No restrictions. It's lifelong skill and it's sustainable long term. And like Stacey said, you are in charge. What I eat, it's going to be totally different to what you guys enjoy eating as well. All right? Cool. Beautiful. So this one's yours, Stacey.
Yeah, so basically, how do I start flexible diet, or how do I begin? So basically, you need to get your
No,
you need to get your stats. So basically, how many calories you require for your body to function, and then you need to get your macro breakdown as well. So that's step number one.
in body scan, you got to get
Your in-body scan
So
will
get
do
your
that.
accurate results. You need to make sure when we do your measurements, accuracy is a key. We've got the in-body scan now, which is so beautiful. I love it. I love that thing. I love you. It's just getting your accurate scans and getting everything to perfected, purely just so you can see where your body's at. Cool. And then we can, from your accurate stats.
From your scan, then we'll be able to obviously calculate where your energy intake will be, your calories, etc. Really important, if you don't have yet, I would highly recommend that over the weekend you purchase some kitchen scales. They will be your best friend. So ours basically live on our kitchen bench and we measure everything, but so it's really, really important that you do have kitchen scales if you don't already.
Purely just to learn, guys. It's purely just to learn the weight and what's actually going in your mouth, because you'll be surprised how much calories you're consuming when you're not weighing your foods and when you're just eating for the sake of eating. So yes, you'll be quite surprised.
Yeah, so you need to be downloading a application, which is MyFitnessPal, which is the one that we would recommend and we use. So we're going to go through that shortly. And you need to be tracking your food. So you need to be inputting your food into MyFitnessPal accurately. So if you're doing it half-heartedly, if you're tracking some of your foods, some people are laughing.
So,
If you're tracking, some of your foods, if you're guesstimating, you're like, I can't bother getting my kitchen scales out, I'll just guess that looks like, a certain amount of grams, you're not going to be getting the results that you want.
and a lovely lady that's here tonight said to me, Aaron, I'm not getting results. And she's like, I'm putting everything in. I'm putting everything in MyFitnessPal. I'm using it perfectly. I'm getting it done. I'm not getting results. I'm like, young lady, you and I have to have a bit of a chat. I'm not trying to look at anyone in particular. and then like, you're tracking your oils, you're tracking your butter. And she then said to me, oh, no. All right. So when we got that concept right, she ended up getting amazing results and dropped about 10 kilos or so. She can give her a round of applause once she understood that concept. So you'll be surprised how much calories there are.
There are a lot of hidden calories in condiments, so things like oils, your nut spreads, sauces, any kind of sauce you use, there's a lot of hidden calories. So if you're not tracking that, you might as well not track anything, because you're not giving.
You need to find the accurate
It has
result.
to be so accurate, especially initially.
Yeah.
It's really, really important. And like I said before, if you're guessing, your results will show. You're not going to be getting the results that you want. So it's really important that everything is accurately measured. And I mean everything that you consume, whether it be, your drinks that you're consuming, the foods that you're consuming, the condiments you're consuming, everything needs to be tracked. And yes, initially it's daunting. Yes, initially it's going to take time. Yes, initially it's a pain in the ass, but I promise you the benefits are huge if you do it right.
So take that time at the start, to commit yourself and actually do it. Like Stacey said, it does take some time and a bit of a pain in the ass to begin with, but once you get used to it and understand the concepts, it's a lifelong education lesson that you've just learned.
So with MyFitnessPal, hands up if you've already got it downloaded on your phone. Oh, most of you, yay! All right, cool. If you don't, I would love if you could download MyFitnessPal. I'll quickly go through how to use it for people that don't know. So let me get this. So the
It says
app,
on there anyway.
yeah, so your app will look something like this when it comes up. Now, I'll just do a quick little tutorial. Can everyone kind of see that? You're going to need to go to the More section, and this is just to put in your macros and your calories. Then you're going to have to go into Nutrition. No, I'm lying, sorry. Goals. When you see your goals, you're going to have to put in your weight, so your current weight, your goal weight, and then you're going to have to go into calorie and macronutrient goals. Once you've done that, you'll see there's little categories. So there's a calorie category. You're going to go into that and adjust your calories to whatever the scan says. When you do your in-body scan, it will tell you. Then you'll need to adjust your carbohydrates. So here we've got 35% carbohydrates, 35% protein, and 30% fat. Okay? Once that's done, all your data is pretty much in. Then the easy part is inputting your foods, basically. So you're going to go to the top section, and then you'll see there's a breakfast section, snacks, lunch. We've got a few extra snacks in here. Snacks and dinner. Okay, all you need to do is click on the plus button and then start inputting your food. Now, the beauty about MyFitnessPal is it has a scan option. So if you have a particular food, like a packet, you can easily just scan it in and then the food will come up, and then you just have to change the grams, okay? Or you can pretty much go into your search and then just type in the food that it is, and hopefully it will come up.
But we do have a more in-depth of how to use MyFitnessPal on BR Nutrition support page on Facebook. If you go into files, you can then download the actual file to teach you how to use MyFitnessPal as well. Cool. But the best thing is play around with it, all right?
Really, like, what you could do this weekend is, if you don't have it already, download it. And then this weekend, just have a play around with it and experiment with the different foods that you eat. And just give yourself an idea, because you'll be quite surprised with how much calories are in certain foods when you don't know. So it's a great educational tool, and it will teach you so much.
All right, awesome. Let's move on
Yes.
to...
With the app, yes, you can download it, yes, it's free. You have the option to upgrade,
Yep.
unlock those other.
Yep.
Is it well worth doing that, or can you get enough out of the app without?
You get enough out of it. Yeah. I don't know what other features are. You don't really need them. So yeah, there's plenty.
We do it without the upgrade.
Yeah, we're tight asses. Not really. Just don't need it. All right. So eating for volume, like, this is so important, because you can have two bowls, all right, that will look exactly the same, like in terms of the size of the bowl, but the calories will be totally different. And I want to use just a couple of salads as an example. So we've got, imagine there's two salads, all right, exactly the same size. So both of them, all right, let's have a bit of a game here. Which one has more calories? Salad one has 120 grams of spinach, 80 grams of mushrooms, 100 grams of cherry tomatoes, 200 grams of pumpkin, 85 grams of ricotta cheese, and 120 grams of chicken breast, all right? That's salad one. Salad two has 120 grams of spinach, only 30 grams of avocado, 10 almonds, 100 grams of cherry tomatoes, 40 grams of feta cheese, okay, and 120 grams of chicken breast. So if you look at all that, I guess salad one has more volume in it, salad two has a little less. Which one do you believe has more calories? Salad one? Hands up for salad one. Who believes salad one has more calories? One.
One.
Two. She was like, oh yeah. You sure? Who thinks salad 2 has more calories? We've taught these guys pretty damn good, I reckon.
Just so you know, salad 1 has 369 calories and salad 2 has 605 calories. So when you go out to a restaurant or a cafe and you tend to order a salad, I can guarantee you that majority of those salads that you eat at a cafe, would have similar things to this. Would they not? They would mostly have nuts. They might have some dried fruit like cranberries or something like that. There's always going to be some feta cheese or some sort of cheese in there. So a lot of the time when you go out and you order a salad, you think, oh, it's the healthy option. A lot of the time it's got a hell of a lot more calories than what a burger might have. So it's actually quite interesting that you think you're going for the healthy option, but when you actually break down what's in that salad, what ingredients is in there, and when you go to a cafe, they're going to put a lot more than 10 almonds in there. It's going to build up, the calorie is going to get higher and higher, and then what you think is the healthy option is probably not so much.
I used to go home and I never used to count calories. I'll put in, well, Stace will make me an awesome salad, it tastes amazing by the way, feta cheese and anchovies with oil.
He wasn't competing
It was
then.
amazing, right?
That was-
So we never actually counted those calories, but thinking back, man, that about 6,000 calories, I reckon, each salad.
6,000.
I'm joking.
Jesus
But as an example, which I found really interesting the other day, I was a little bit hungry and I was like, oh, I'll quickly grab some tuna, all right? And there was these 2 packets, right? These 2 packets. And I thought, oh, let's measure the amount of calories, all right?
They're the same size.
Same size,
in
so
terms
they are
of grams.
both, how big's the serving? 185 grams each, okay, per tuna. Same size, look the same, correct? Cool. So this has tuna and beans in it. This has tuna and beans also. Cool, tuna and beans. Didn't even realise that. Both says tuna and beans. All right, but this one has a 3-bean mix in it. This one has capsicum, sweet corn, red kidney beans, and chili. All right, which tuna has 30% more calories? The right or the left? Who, hands up for the right? This one has tuna and 3 beans. This one has tuna, capsicum, sweet corn, red kidney beans, and chili. Hands up for calories. Who has more? Which tuna has more calories? Right can, hands up. Left can. Boom! The right can has 30% more calories than the left can. How good was that? That was pretty cool, actually. I was like, oh shit, it wasn't me. All right, so yeah, it surprised me as well. So don't worry, I'm with you there. So yeah, so you'd be surprised. So exactly the same size. This one seems like it's got more stuff in it because it's all different ingredients, but this one has actually more calories at the end of the day. Interesting, eh? There we go. Sneaky, sneaky. All right, awesome. We'll move on. So everyone get the volume part? You know what I mean? Like, I'll be perfectly honest with you. Right now, my calories are quite low. I'm on 1850 calories, and I would not recommend this unless you're competing and you've got to go to a certain amount of weight. So my calories are 1850. So you'd be surprised what I eat throughout the day, all right? Because I'm all talking about volume. All right, I don't even need my phone. I was going to give you my app. So generally what I eat throughout the day, all right, this is all 1850 calories, and what I eat is probably a lot more than what you generally eat, and you'll realize how much I actually eat. So I eat 6 egg whites, I eat an onion, I eat capsicum, I eat about 180 grams of chicken in the morning, plus about 150 grams of pumpkin. That's my breakfast. Mid-morning snack, I'll have about 300 grams of mixed coleslaw. Yeah, it's a hard one with that one. That's a bit discrepancy on the MyFitnessPal, but I generally just go weighed because that's what I've been doing the whole time. So mid-morning, I'll have about 150 grams chicken with massive salad with some tomatoes, and then mid-morning, lunchtime, I'll have maybe a couple of wraps with some chicken and spinach and whatever, and then lunchtime I'll have about 500 grams of strawberries. I love strawberries, with some Chobani yogurt and a banana. And dinner I'll generally have, it could be a soup, it could be...
He has a lot of this for dinner. So it's like the carrot and pumpkin noodles. We'll put like the slim noodles in there, and then we'll have some protein. So if you actually look at his plate, it's massive, but it's just smart. We're picking foods that have minimal calories.
Go for it, Dory. We'll go through that as well. We'll take some Mythbusters, but it doesn't matter when you eat. We do highly recommend breakfast, though, just to set you up throughout the day. You know, get your calories in, get some energy in, feel pretty good throughout the day. But in terms of having carbs at night and eating all that sort of stuff, it's completely fine. Doesn't matter. Remember, it's all about how much fuel you need. You know, it doesn't matter, you know, when you actually have the food, as long as you're not over consuming. All right. So if I have pasta at night, but I've got 500 calories left, and I have 500 calories worth of pasta, and at night, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Cool. Yo.
Quick question. Before, when I used to go on a diet or whichever, I used to eat 7 times a day.
Yep.
Does that make any
Difference?
difference or anything like that?
If I eat 7 times a day and I eat 4 times a day, and we both have exactly the same thing, it makes no difference. Makes no difference. Cool? So it doesn't matter how many times you eat or when you eat, just as long as you're not over consuming those amount of calories. Yeah? It's a bit weird because everyone tells you so many different things. Tea's completely fine, just no sugar. I had a good question about coffee the other week. Remember, if you're having 5 lattes a day, that's an issue because of all the milk, the sugar that people put in. You know, a latte will have 120 calories or so plus in it. But if you're having 5 black coffees a day, coffee has very minimal or no calories, I think, anyway. So, or very minimal.
It has minimal calories.
Very, very minimal. So I'll generally have 3, sometimes 4 coffees a day. Mine is just black coffee, and I won't have any sugar in it. But you're having 4 cappuccinos a day, that's accumulating calories at the end of the day as well. Yeah? Cool. All right, but these Mythbusters we'll talk about really soon too, like Mythbusters.
So these are comparisons. So just again to get your mind thinking and to get you thinking. So cottage cheese, approximately 100 grams of cottage cheese has 70 calories versus 100 grams of ricotta, 95 calories. And then you get your tasty cheese, 100 grams, 408 calories. So again, like you can, talking about volume of food, you can have like 100 grams of cottage cheese or 100 grams of ricotta, and that's quite a lot of cheese, but then you go on and put tasty cheese in your food. Look at the amount of calories, how much that changes. That is huge. In terms of sweet potato, 90 calories for 100 grams. Pumpkin, only 46 calories for 100 grams. So pumpkin's a really underrated vegetable, I find. I was telling Aaron when he first started comp prepping, have pumpkin, it's got no calories. And it wasn't until he actually discovered it himself, who wasn't listening to me, that he was like, wow, pumpkin's got no calories. And I was like, I've been trying to tell you that for how long?
She didn't.
Tuna in spring water. So tuna in your spring water, so the can in the spring water is only 77 calories versus oil. The tuna in oil is 113 calories.
You know, tuna in spring water, squeeze some lemon on it, put a bit of chili flakes on it. All right.
And then you got, okay, so a lot of the time we love eating burgers, yes? You can make burgers so healthy, it's just about picking the different ways of, I suppose, eating the bun. So these sandwich thins, only 100 calories, and there's your bun. Like, it's so, and they taste really, really good.
Even the meat that you put in the burger, I'm really cautious about my calories, so I'll choose, like, I love kangaroo. I'll eat kangaroo, I'll eat anything really. But you know, you can have a kangaroo patty, or you can have a normal patty, and a kangaroo patty will have probably, I'd say, close to
110 calories, I'm pretty sure.
400 grams, whilst a normal patty might have 300 calories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a massive discrepancy. Like it literally, the volume's the same, but the amount of calories is huge depending on what brand you eat sometimes. Like if you go to Woolworths and look at all the meat, go to the meat section and scan all the different meats, you're gonna freak out because what you have in one brand of meat is going to be a totally different amount of calories to what it is in another brand of meat. So just go, when you get a bit of time,
Just experiment.
just explore.
Just start scanning everything.
Yeah.
And then you've got like the wholemeal muffins. Again, they're very similar to sandwich thins. You're looking at about 100 grams there for a burger bun if you wanted. Or you could go super, super low calorie and have lettuce leaves, which are only, 15 calories. So there are so many, and then in your lettuce leaves, don't just think I'm going to have lettuce leaves and meat. Chuck in some, some onions, anything, some mustard. Mustard's got a really low calorie condiment. Some more
Pickles.
vegetables, beetroot.
Pickles. I love pickles.
Yeah, you can put so much in your lettuce cup in order for it to seem like a really big, juicy, enjoyable meal.
Yeah, and
So
if you
again,
are
talking about volume.
if you are trying to, reduce the amount of calories, do you really need two massive buns? You don't need to. Like, you just even if you go one bun and just put like your meat on top and blah,
Like
all the condiments on.
open sandwich.
Yeah, that slice of bread ain't gonna fill you up that much more. You know what I mean? You don't even need it. So just be a bit more smarter. Go for
So how to avoid overeating? So number one, stop restricting, because as soon as you start restricting foods, you want it so much more and you always overeat. So you'll always start overindulging when you start restricting foods.
Dario made a good point about breakfast, right? And it doesn't matter. But what I found personally, right, if I've got 2,000 calories throughout the day, I would spread my 2,000 calories over the day. So I'm not having, 200 for breakfast, nothing for lunch, and then 1,100 for dinner, because I'm going to probably eat more for dinner because I'm going to be so hungry, I'm just going to keep eating. So what I generally do, I just spread out my food throughout the day. So example, 2,000 calories, might have 400 for dinner, 350 for a snack, 400 for lunch, 350 for my afternoon snack, and 400 for dinner. I don't even know if that equals 2,000, but somewhere along, I think it's very similar. But I'll spread it out throughout the day, so I'm not then restricting foods in the morning, all right, and then going home and eating a fuckload at night because I'll just overconsume, and that's what some people's problems are. They don't eat throughout the day, and they just eat everything at night. Anyone done that before? Yeah. A lot of people. So that's what I like to do. I like to spread out throughout the day. So over the day, my energy levels are always good and it's nice and even throughout the day.
Be flexible. So when you're having a flexible diet, again, you don't feel like you're missing out at all. Like you feel like, you're still eating foods that you really enjoy, but you need to always exercise moderation. So yes, you can have your chocolate, yes, you can have your ice cream, but don't go over the top with it. Just be mindful of the portion sizes that you're having of those types of foods. Number 3, be aware. How often do we eat and not even realizing that we're eating? Or, you're eating and you're eating in front of the TV, or you're eating and you're not actually engrossed in what you're eating. You're not actually enjoying the food. You're just in the process of eating. And I think it's important to be present with what you're eating, because that's when you really start to realize what it is you're eating and how much you're eating, and that can be a big problem.
And you appreciate food so much more
Yes.
when you sit there. Like when you go past, I'm just going to quickly have that snack size chocolate. You're not enjoying. You're just doing it because
You're
it's
just
there.
doing it. It's just,
So yeah,
you're going in the motions of just eating. Whereas I think when you're having a meal, turn off the TV. Actually look at what you're eating. Eat slower. Like sit there and enjoy the food. I think that's where people just sit there and they just scoff, and your body doesn't have time to realise that you're actually full. So that can be a problem. Don't go hungry. So this goes back to what Aaron was saying before. When you starve yourself, or when you, I suppose you skip a few meals during the day and then you save most of your calories for at night, you're starving and you're just going to seriously murder that fridge. Like you need
I
to
murder that shit.
Yeah, you just need to make sure that you are being sensible and eating throughout the day so you don't get to that point where you're so hungry that you start overeating and just smashing food. And don't label food as good and bad, and we're going to go through that more. Maybe next slide. Yes. All right. So, labeling food good and bad. Why do you think, hands up, why you think it might be dangerous to label food as good and bad? Any ideas?
Because you're avoiding the bad foods.
When you start labeling food as good and bad, and then you have that bad food, what tends to happen? Feelings of guilt. You feel bad. You feel like you failed. You feel like you have ruined the diet for the day, and you're like, you know what, stuff this, I'm just going to keep eating shit for the rest of the day. These are things that go through your mind, and when you're having these feelings of, I suppose, self-sabotage, of feeling of labeling these foods as bad, that's when you start to have that really bad relationship with food. And a lot of the time it has to do with marketing, like the way foods are marketed is how we start to visualize food as being good or bad. So this is where I want to show you a few things. So this Bounce protein bar, it's labelled as a healthy option in the health food section. So it's always found in the health food section, and it's as like a quick fix, I suppose, like a quick little snack that you can grab. When you actually look at it, it's 197 calories. Look how little it is. 197 calories for that. Okay, you can consume that in seconds flat, and then in 10-15 minutes be quite hungry and want more food. Or you could go for something like this, which is a massive bowl of strawberries, blueberries and banana. This is only 192 calories.
And I know for a fact you're going to enjoy this a lot more than that. Add a bit of cinnamon in there. Beautiful.
So again, talking about what we were going to before, eating for volume, this obviously clearly has a lot more volume than what this tiny little
Piece of poo has.
ball has. So it's just about being smart, being a little bit more mindful about the foods you're eating. Another thing, marketing.
Let's do a comparison thing again.
You go to the shops. Okay, we have Skinny Cow ice cream. Yes, marketed as being, I suppose, a healthy option. If you're going to go to the supermarket and you've got these two next to each other, which one are you most likely to purchase? Which one do you think would be the smarter option?
If you're wanting to lose weight, which one
would be the smarter option?
Bitch.
Skinny Cow or a Paddle Pop? Okay, Skinny Cow. This one here, it's a sandwich type style ice cream, marketed as being super healthy, marketed as being your healthier option if you want a snack or a ice cream. You're looking at 137 calories in this. Not too bad for an ice cream. Paddle Pop, on the other hand, is not marketed at all as being a healthy option, but it only has 73 calories.
Give me two of those bad boys, baby. Woo! Give me a chocolate, give me a banana one.
Oh, here, let me tell you. 60 grams, 55 grams. So only a 5 gram difference in terms of size, but that's a shitload of a massive difference in terms of your calorie content for the day. Now, I'm not saying I want you to all go home and start smashing Paddle Pops.
Bullshit, that's what I'm doing.
But, hey? Yeah, Hendrix.
Stacey.
The baby wanted them. So there you go. There's just an idea that, yes, it's marketed as being healthy, but is it really? And this one costs like probably triple the price as opposed to this. And you only get 4 in a box as opposed to 10. There you go.
Now I'd be eating that whole box if I was late. That's not a problem.
Another thing. Okay, so we have flakes. Now this bar, I'm not saying eat the whole bar, so there's 3 servings in this bar.
And can I
Three
say,
servings.
Stacey, we nearly got full the other day with these, didn't we?
Yeah, we nearly did. So it's 2 squares is 1 serving. 2 squares. In the health food section, obviously, again, similar to the skinny cow situation, labelled as a healthy option to a chocolate.
No sugar,
No sugar.
well and natural.
Okay, so your 2 squares is equivalent to 15 grams. Your fun size is equivalent to 14 grams. So there's a 1 gram difference. Now, this one has, let me just, so I don't give you false, 73 calories for your 2 squares. This one, for your little fun size, is 70 calories. So again, marketing, you think, oh, it's in the health food section, has to be better for you. 2 squares is 1 serving. I would say most of you will probably be inclined to go for this, thinking it's your healthier option, as opposed to going to your main confectionery aisle and getting the Cadbury full, dairy milk option. Yes, Maria? Sorry? Yes, yes. Yeah, so in terms of sugar, I'll quickly, 7.6.
That will say no sugar. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because a calorie is a calorie.
6.7.
You know what I mean?
7.6,
Oh.
6.7.
That says no sugar in it.
Yeah, it's your carbohydrates as a sugar.
Oh.
So there you go.
Yeah, mate. No added
So
sugar. It says
again-
no sugar, no added sugar.
So there you go. It's not vastly different. So it's quite interesting. Yes, Justin?
So what you're saying is you should be looking more, in terms of food selection, more at calories rather than proteins, fats, or sweets.
Well, that's a bit of a hard one.
No. Remember, to get results, remember, we don't want to restrict. We're just talking in terms of marketing and comparisons here. But in terms of calories and macros, no, you shouldn't be looking at specific calories. You look at the whole amount. Just as long as you're still having your proteins, your carbs, and your fats, but over the day, you're having say 2,000
You're
calories.
hitting your macros.
But you're hitting your macros as well. So you're still having 35% approximately protein, and the rest can be carbs or fats because they're your energy sources at the end of the day. So we understand that? Cool.
And just one more thing, one more funny thing that I wanted to show you. Here we are.
Funny.
So grilled burgers are marketed as your healthy burger, yes? It says here, healthy burgers. Now, I went to Grilled today and they're the exact same burger. So it's a ham chicken burger. So as you can see,
Why?
here, this is the low carb burger. Okay, so they classify the low carb as your healthy one. When you actually go there to the supermarket, to the shop, it says it's lower in calories than what sushi is. So that's how they try and you think, oh, it's lower in calories than sushi. It's really quite thin, the bread you can see. And they also market it to try and trick you and say, a nutritionist is the one who formulated this burger bun. Okay, so there you go. So that's that. Then you get the other burger, which is pretty same ingredients, but obviously the actual bun is different. Okay, so looking at that, which one would you, I know I've kind of spoiled the surprise, but you would obviously think that this one has less calories. Is that correct? In actual fact, I'll tell you. So the low carb burger, which is the thin one, has 542 calories. Now, your traditional bun, 540 calories, 520 calories. So I know it's only 20 calorie difference, but that's marketed as being so much more healthier for you, and you would think that that was the case. But when you look at the calorie content, we're being fooled. Then, if you were to go and purchase the gluten-free option, which is the gluten-free bun, that is 680 calories.
Boom! Knowledge bombs right there.
And just for, again, just a little bit of a interesting fact, Your Big Mac has 490 calories.
Hook me up with a Big Mac right now. Down to Macca's.
So it's just the reason why I was telling you all of this is because it frustrates me that marketing, we get fooled so easily thinking that, you know, the healthy burgers are healthier when in actual fact, you know, or a gluten-free burger bun would be healthier, but then the gluten-free has got close to 100 more calories than what, you know, this one does. So don't be fooled, guys, when you go into the supermarket by going down the health food section and thinking everything is really, really healthy down there, because more often than not, it's not.
So that's why counting calories and understanding these, I guess, aspects of nutrition is so important for you to understand and not get fooled by these mofos. All right.
And
so
to get educated.
yeah, understand. Yes, counting calories is a pain in the ass. I'm going to be the first one to agree, and I refused to do it for a good 12 months until I said, you know what, let me give it a go, and that's when I was able to increase my mileage and get the best results of my life. So understand these guys, and it's not that difficult once you get involved. Cool. Boom! Next segment is Mythbusters. All right, this is going to be fun. So if you have any questions, hit us up. Definitely hit us up. So there was a question that was asked, eating frequency
Is it
not
necessary
necessary.
to eat
Yeah.
5, 6, 7 meals a day?
Not necessary. So it doesn't matter what time you eat or how many times you eat, absolutely no difference, because at the end of the day, you're consuming that amount of calories if you eat it in 2 meals, 4 meals, or 5 meals. All right, cool.
You just have to do what works well for your lifestyle. Like if you're in a job where you really can't, I don't know, have those regular meals, well then you don't. But you just make sure that you're having your calories and you're hitting your calories and macros for the day, however works best for you.
Boom. Let's move on to, is my metabolism slow? Whose metabolism is super slow here? Because I know once in my life, I thought my metabolism was slow when I was 90 kilos. That was my excuse. Anyone else got a slow metabolism? You do too, eh? Yeah, you do. Yeah. Everyone's got a slow metabolism. Your metabolism ain't slow, all right? It's what you're consuming that's going to allow. Lee, stay.
Oh, sorry, it's just making me
It's
a bit
what you're
sick.
consuming that's going to obviously allow you to put on weight. So your metabolism ain't slow. It's what you're putting in your mouth. Eating at night, is that going to make you fat? I eat at 9:30 at night after work. It ain't going to make me fat. I'll eat carbs at night. That's completely fine. No issue at all, because frequency doesn't matter. Carbs at night is a detrimental to results. You can have carbs at night. I generally like to have carbs at night because I train first thing in the morning. So I want to make sure I hit a hard session in the morning and allow me to really hit my weights hard. So carbs at night doesn't matter. Clean eating, is it mandatory? Clean eating, what is clean eating? Do I get some soap and scrub my food and it's clean? No, it's just a whole bunch of bullshit. So clean eating, whatever that means, is not mandatory. You can have a bit of processed food, okay? We're living in the 21st century. You're not gonna have everything clean, all right? It's not gonna be, you're not gonna bury it, get it from the ground and eat it and wash it, all right? So yeah, it's not mandatory. Cool? Any more little Mythbusters we want answered and cleared up?
Lemon water first thing in the morning.
Say it again.
Lemon water.
Lemon water, if it makes you feel happy, you can have it.
It's actually not too bad for you because it gets it gets everything kind of working in the morning. So I think it's quite good.
And what about infused waters during the day?
Mate, if it makes you happy, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really, if you enjoy it, go for it. You know what I mean? It's not gonna, it's not the magic formula. Tips, don't eat for the sake of eating. Am I hungry or bored? Have a think about that. Break up your calories evenly throughout the day. That's what I do, especially over my comp prep. It's been the best thing I've done for me, and I've never felt hungry over the day. So generally break them up throughout the day. Everyone has days where their eating isn't where it needs to be. Don't dwell on it, guys. If you ruin yourself or you fuck up, you don't understand something, that's cool, man. Just move on. just make sure your next meal is a better meal, all right? Or make sure your next decision is a better decision. And just learn from it, because that moment you enjoy yourself, is it really worth enjoying yourself for that 20 seconds of indulging in as much chocolate as you can to your long-term results? It's going to be detrimental to your results, because if you continue to do that, it's going to cause issues, all right, with your results if it is fat loss. So don't dwell on it, all right? If you stuff up, just move on, learn from it, and progress forward, all right? Don't sit there and cry about it. Drink plenty of water. You'll be surprised, you're constantly drinking water throughout the day. You won't feel as full. I know people say it, but it's actually quite true. So just sip throughout the day. Drink plenty of water. You're not going to. You'll constantly feel quite full as well. Practice counting calories and macros. If you don't practice and you just give up on the first day or the second day, like I've got no time, I can't do it, blah blah blah. You can create a million excuses. It's never gonna, you're never gonna learn. All right, so give it a crack. Protein. Look, I generally have protein about 3 to 4 meals a day. Protein is a big part of what I do. I like to train hard, I like to recover quick as well. So having protein throughout my day, rather than not just having protein for dinner or breakfast, I like to have it as a bit of a snack as well throughout the day. So spread it out. So have some eggs in the morning. I always have protein at night, like a steak or some beef or some chicken at night. And I'll always have it for lunch as well. So always incorporate some protein there. Fruit. I know when I first dieted for my first comp, they said you cannot have fruit, which is the most ridiculous thing. Now come to think about it, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. You can have fruit. Fruit is great for you. It's got a lot of micronutrients in it. It's got a lot of fiber in it. It's going to allow you to feel better. It tastes good. It's a little bit sweet as well. So fruit's perfectly fine. Have 1 to 2 a day. Vegetables. Have vegetables most meals. Once again, great. A lot of micronutrients in it. Meals. Generally what I do, I have brekkie, I have snack, I have lunch, I have another snack, I'll have dinner, and then lately I've been having another snack after dinner as well. So find what works for you in your lifestyle. That works for me, but find what works for you in your lifestyle and stick to it, all right? Get used to that habit. And time frequency, not necessary, but find a bit of a structure as well, okay? Structure's good. I like to have a structure. I know I'll eat breakfast at 8:30 after my training session. I'll have my next meal at about 11. I'll have my next meal at 1:30, and then it's 4:30, and then it's 6:30, and then it's 7 o'clock from my next snack. So that's what I like to follow. For me, I feel like a structure is good for me. It works for me. Might not work for you, but finding a structure will allow you to really plan it out as well. Cool. Tips on eating out. Stacey, you want to breeze through this as well?
If you can, try and look at the menu prior so you have an idea of what you might want to order. So like the healthier option or an option that works best for you, that you can kind of fit into your calorie intake for the day. Try and steer clear of your fried, crumbed, heavy white sauce type foods. Why? Because they're going to be loaded in calories, so you won't be able to eat as much. Bank up your calories. So Jess, this was kind of like alluding to what you were saying before. So basically with banking up calories, what that means is if you know you're going out for dinner on a Saturday night and you're going to have, like Aaron used the example before, pizza. Pizza is a high calorie food. So you're looking at around about maybe the 1,500, this is for a whole pizza, mind you, around about 1,500 up in terms of calories. Now, if you feel like you want to have a pizza, fine, but bank up your calories for that. So meaning that you might want to minimize your calories earlier during the day so that you can have that higher calorie meal for dinner. So it might mean just minimizing maybe the amount of food that you have during the day, or having really low calorie type foods throughout the day so you can have that little bit of an indulgent meal for the dinner or
that's
if
where
you're
the
going out.
volume comes in, smart with the volume amount of food.
Yeah, so I'll give you a quick example. Like Aaron and I were going out for dinner to Rockpool one night, which is a steak restaurant. Steak is quite high in calories. So what he did was he just really minimized his calories throughout the day so that he could go out and enjoy a really nice meal and it could still fit into his calorie content. So he didn't go over at all.
That's
Does that
what
answer your kind of question?
Yeah.
So you know you're going to have like a functional
Yep.
calories during the week, so just so you're on.
Yeah, so you can maybe minimize, you might take out 50 calories per day. And then that means, that could equate to like an extra 250 to 300 calories that you've got to play with. So you can definitely do that. Yes.
Extra training sessions as a substitute for implementation.
I generally don't agree because you really don't know how much you're burning in your training sessions. It's a hard one to measure. And most of the time you probably eat a lot more than you train as well. You'd be surprised. Your training sessions aren't going to burn a whole heap of calories. So, you're like, oh my God, I want to do an extra training session, but I'm going to eat a whole pizza. You probably need to do an extra 5 training sessions, or quite a few more. So generally, I don't like that. If you
It's just hard to really measure because you don't know.
it's
What one person burns in a training session is going to be completely different to what another person burns, depending on fitness level, their size, etc. So it's best that if you're going to have like a highly indulgent meal, that you do start banking up your calories for that. Try and always order vegetables and salad with no dressing, obviously, because dressing is a condiment that can be quite high in calories. Don't be afraid to ask questions about food on the menu or have requests. So, it might be if you want to cut calories on a certain meal, you might say that you're lactose intolerant, for argument's sake. So get rid of the dairy, because dairy obviously has a little bit more calories than other foods. So that's another option you can go with. Try and keep within your calorie intake for the day when you're going out. And your best option is obviously your proteins with some veggies or salad.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. Now, really, really quick, in terms of weekends, I'm going to go through this quick because I don't want to keep you here for too long. I know everyone's got to go home. And all this food's probably making us hungry, especially me. Weekends. So I used to always do this. I used to, be very good throughout the week, but on a Saturday night, man, I would fucking go off. I would order chips, pizzas, lasagnas, pastas, entree, calamari, you name it. Oh, and dessert was amazing. So I would have this massive, I'd literally sit there and be like, oh man, with my last transformation, I'm like, guys, this is my thing. I've got issues, and I finally snapped out of it. All right, but I finally snapped out. You'd be pretty proud of me. But I would say, I reckon that meal would have, maybe 6,000, probably 4,000 calories.
So true.
Yeah.
He's not lying.
Yeah, 4,000 calories. So what would happen? It would seriously determine my results because by the next day, I would jump on the scales that night or that day. So I would weigh 80 kilos or 82 kilos. The next day I would weigh probably 84.5 kilos because obviously of all the food. And by the time my body actually had time to digest it, it was Thursday or Friday, and that was me being really perfection throughout the weeks. Thursday or Friday I probably lost a few 100 grams because of that Saturday night, because I would eat so much on that Saturday night. So it was detrimental to the way a couple of people look at me like, this is what I do. All right, look at these looks. So that would generally happen. So it would take me a whole week and I'd be like, why I can't get results? They said I could have a junk meal. This is my junk meal and this is what I want. So that's why. So be a bit more smart. And then I thought, then I did doing this comp prep. So, I actually stopped eating my junk meal, and I was just dropping a kilo or kilo and a half a week because I wasn't over consuming. So your Saturday night is so detrimental to your results. Go out. I'm not saying don't have a junk meal. Go out, but don't have entree,
Just
dessert,
don't overdo it.
and a couple of mains. And probably other things on the side as well, which I used to do. So, just go out, have a really nice meal, enjoy, embrace the food, okay, and then move on because you'll get a whole lot more results. Cool. Breakfast as well. Be mindful of the hidden calories.
Things like a smashed avocado.
Yeah.
The amount of avocado they use in a smashed avocado is huge. So again, that's got a massive amount of calories. Things like fritters. Fritters are deep fried. Again, massive amount of calories because of all the oil that it's fried in. So it's things like that. You just need to be a little bit more cautious with the foods that you're choosing.
Yeah, and portion sizes as well. So guys, just be careful what you do over the week because if you do fuck up over the weekend, you are going to ruin your results for the rest of the week, especially if your goal is fat loss. All right, so just be a bit more cautious. Guys, we are nearly done. All right, little segment here. Boom, boom, boom. Prep in 10. Who doesn't have time to prepare food? Hands up. Come on, get them up. Who's got no time? You got no time. I never had time to prepare foods. No one's got no time to prepare food. Well, I'm going to show you this segment called Prep in 10. Pretty excited about this one. I created this myself. So, pretend I've got a pantry, right? We're going to use this as my pantry. Cool? So that's my pantry here. Grab some tunas there, Stacey, for me, please. All right, now literally, since Stacey's been a little preggers and I've been competing and we've got the kid now, I've got to organise my own food sometimes, which I think sucks. But I've learned, right? So I'm going to prep in 10. So what I want to show you guys how easy you can prepare pretty much 5 meals in, 5 minutes if you need to. So I wake up in the morning, I've bought my macaroons, pretend this is my pantry here. I don't have all my foods here, but we're gonna work through it. I'm gonna prep my breakfast. All right, so I've got my muffin. I've cooked my eggs. I've got my muffin. I've got some turkey from the fridge. And I put that in the toaster. Bang, there's my muffin done. All right, lunch. I'm gonna grab pre-washed salad. It's already pre-washed. Good. Can of tuna. Boom. Lunch. Snack. I'll grab a banana. Actually, I've got 2 snacks there. Banana and some strawberries. Cool. And for dinner, I'm going to grab one of these. I'm going to heat these up in the fridge. Oh, I'm in the fridge. I'm going to heat these up in the microwave, and I'm going to put a piece of steak in there. Pretend that's a steak, right? Cool. That's my prep. Easy, because all I've got to do is chuck that in the toaster. Well, so that's heating up in the toaster. I've got the turkey. I've chucked the turkey in there. I've got an apple, all right, and a banana. That's my 2 snacks throughout the day. My salad, my can of tuna. If you want to go even more, superior with your foods, you can even get some rice or some pre-cooked pumpkin or something like that you've cooked over the weekend. Or if you can't be bothered cooking, that's completely fine. You've got some rice that you can heat up. That's
the microwavable rice.
Yeah, microwavable rice, right?
Do that.
You can do that. So that's that. I've got a can of tuna for lunch with some Vita Wheat crackers, beautiful, or a piece of bread. And then I've got my carrot and pumpkin noodles at night with whatever. I can cook a steak in the fridge. I'll get the steak from the fridge and cook it in the oven. So that's how easy it can be. Like literally, if you buy all these ingredients and have them in the fridge, you can literally, these days, prep in 10. It doesn't take you long to prep because that shit, I didn't even have to cut and that's already washed, all right?
There's this as well, like it makes things so easy. At Coles, they've got like the broccoli and cauliflower already like diced up for you. So it makes things really, really simple.
Like, like that, add a bit of ricotta in there, 2 tablespoons of ricotta and
some passata sauce, so it's like that tomato sauce, pure tomatoes.
Put that in there.
With some protein and then you're done.
Protein, it's done. It's literally, you've got no one's got excuses because everyone goes to the shops and buys ingredients. You've just got to buy the right ingredients, yeah? So once again, pre-washed, in a can, it's fruit. No one's
Takes
growing,
2 seconds
no
to
one's
cut
growing,
up.
No one's growing fruit, are they? You don't even have to cut it up. Just take a banana or an apple, yeah? Piece of like some Vita Wheat crackers with a can of tuna. What I suggest you do, just cook your proteins. And if you're cooking dinner and cooking protein, just cook an extra couple of pieces of steak or fish. All right. So that's literally prep in 10. It doesn't take you long at all. Does everyone understand that concept? Cool. So hands up if you don't have time to prepare. Good. All right. So yeah, it doesn't take long at all. A couple of examples here. Breakfast, we got the Vita Brits and some almond milk. Right, it's like Wheat Bix, but Vita Brits are lower calorie, so we'll go for that.
Low sugar.
Low sugar. Snack is apple and some almonds. Lunch is mixed salad and some chicken and some pumpkin. So I've already pre-cooked my chicken and pumpkin. I've literally just got to chuck it in a bowl. Snack is banana and some Chobani yogurt. All right, and my dinner, I didn't have time to cook dinner that night, so I got some prepped meal from the gym. Body Revival, and I've just heated it up for 7 minutes in the microwave. Boom, easy. That's my prep in like 2 seconds. That's what we should call it, prep in 2 seconds. And my next one is muffin and boiled eggs, because you boiled your eggs the night before with some smoked salmon. Done. There's my breakfast. Snack, tuna, microwavable rice. Easy, literally take it out of the pantry, put it in a lunchbox. Lunch, carrot and pumpkin spaghetti with ricotta, passata and passata, said that like an Italiano. Lunch, and then you got snack, you got your rice cakes and some lean ham, and then dinner, your steamed veg, which is frozen, and you can put some white fish in the oven. Easy, literally. Like, if someone says, I don't have time to prepare food in the 10-week transformation or at Body Revival in this group ever again, I'm probably going to neck myself. All right, so let's make sure we focus and get it done. And yeah, the more you do it, the easier it gets. Now, we've got 2 more little slides. All right, so what a 2,000 calorie day looks like. So this is generally what I would eat throughout the day, so you've got a bit of an understanding. My breakfast, meal 1, is 6 egg whites, 100 grams of spinach, 200 grams of mushrooms, 130 grams of chicken, 250 grams of pumpkin, 85 grams of tomatoes, and 250 grams of mixed leaves as well. So that's a lot of greens, a lot of protein, and a bit of carbs in there as well. Meal 2, really simple, Chobani yogurt, banana is 110 grams, 250 grams of strawberries plus an English muffin I'll have. So I'll have an English muffin, put the bananas on there, strawberries, put the yogurt on top. Beautiful. I'm getting so hungry. Meal 3, we've got chicken breast, spinach, pumpkin, and beetroot. Meal 4, got some coleslaw pre-washed. This stuff's so easy because it's all pre-washed. Kangaroo burgers, you buy 2 for 10, you buy 8 patties for $10 down at Woolworths. You chuck them in the oven. I've just figured out how to use the oven recently, honestly, probably the last month, and I'm killing it, may I add. Sweet potato and beetroot as well. So it's a nice salad there. You can get some herbs and all that sort of stuff as well, which is awesome. And then meal 5, you know, I might have some carrot and pumpkin noodles, some slim pasta, this is cool pasta, which is going to just get you.
It's just a volume.
Yeah, it just makes it look bigger.
It's got like no calories in it. It's just
like 30 calories for like 200 grams. Some beef and some ricotta cheese. And meal 6, I'll have my paddle pop. So there you go, 2,000 calories in a day, really easy, a lot of food, it tastes awesome. You can be a little bit creative. What I suggest you do at the start though, when it comes to counting calories, don't overcomplicate things, have a lot of simple foods, all right? Just to understand it so you're not trying to count every gram in there. All right, Stacey, go for it, 1,500 calorie day.
Maria?
Throw them away. Yeah. I usually
If you
go
have
out
a
for,
dog, you can give it to your dog.
yeah. I usually go out for breakfast most days. Just
You could.
chill, but I just throw them away. Yeah.
And this is what a 1,500 calorie day looks like. So an English muffin with spinach, mushrooms and 2 poached eggs. Meal 2 could be an apple. Meal 3, barley wraps with some spinach, chicken, pumpkin and a little bit of tzatziki dip. Meal 4, some brown rice cakes with tuna and spring water, cherry tomatoes and ricotta cheese. And meal 5, some sweet potato with some salmon and spinach. So again, gives you a little bit of an idea of what you can eat for 1,500 calories. Super, super easy to prepare, doesn't require a lot of effort. And it's, again, a lot of food and quite satisfying.
Cool.
Oh, this is from me. So basically...
This is the teacher coming out of her.
Homework that I wanted you guys to do, and I really want you to make the effort. I mean, you come here tonight, try and get yourself started into getting some good processes, some good habits in place. So 1, if you haven't downloaded MyFitnessPal, please do that. Number 2, kitchen scales. If you haven't got them, over this weekend, go purchase. Just change one thing. So I don't want you to start changing 1,000 things all at once. It's going to be very overwhelming for you. So if you even change one thing, so if you're a person that doesn't eat breakfast, start eating breakfast. If you're the type of person that has soft drinks in your diet, get rid of them. If you're the type of person that has a lot of just shit in your pantry and a lot of clutter in there that you don't use, clean out your pantry, clean out your fridge. Just change one thing. Try and start accurately measuring everything that you put into and everything that you eat. Try and get your scan organised so you know exactly how many calories you're meant to be eating. Shopping list. So this is a really good way because a lot of the time, day by day, you think, oh, what am I going to cook for dinner? And then you do your head in, have a meal plan, a structure for the week. So on Sunday, figure out what exactly you're going to cook for the whole week. Go grab it from the supermarket, and then that's half of your work done for you. Plan your food for your week. So I know with me, I need to make sure I've got proteins in the fridge for Aaron. I need to make sure we've got pumpkin and sweet potato in the fridge. So again, half of my prep's done because I've always got the main stuff cooked, and then things like this is just easy. You can just easily grab that. But as long as you have your proteins cooked up and your carbohydrates cooked up, that makes it really, really super easy for you, and doesn't require a lot of effort. Like, you basically just open up a chicken, open up some kangaroo, whatever it is you want to eat, chuck it in the oven and bake it. It doesn't take a lot of effort.
Awesome.
And then share your journey with us on the Body Revival Nutrition page. We're there. We're here to assist you. If you have any questions, please ask. Share your food, like what you're cooking, to inspire other people as well.
Yeah, cool. Guys, the reason why we set up this seminar is because people asked for a seminar, people wanted nutrition support. So we are here to give you as much support as you need. That nutrition page of Body Revival, it's a free page for members. Hit us up with questions. If you're unsure about something, hit us up. But whilst we're here tonight, does anyone have any questions at all that we haven't answered tonight? Go for it. Yeah. So you got tofu, you've got beans, you've got what else do we have?
Legumes.
There's quite
Like
a
all
few.
your chickpeas and that kind of
If
thing.
you ask that question, we'll get a list happening for you. All right, on the nutrition support page. Easy. Does anyone have any? Is everyone clear? Does everyone have a bit more of an understanding? I know there's a lot of information. We haven't tracked this video up, so you can probably watch it again as well. So you get a bit more of an understanding. Justin. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we can do that. As a bit of guide, yeah, definitely. Awesome. Go for it.
I've always struggled to drink a lot of water. I don't have a very high intake. I enjoy sparkling water more.
Yep.
That's one thing, but I know, like, soda water. It's
Yep.
high in sodium. We haven't really touched on sodium with that kind
Yeah, look, there's no need to worry too much about sodium for the time being because I don't want you overcomplicating things. But soda water's fine. You know what I mean?
Mineral water's fine.
Mineral water's fine. Yeah.
Even if you do
Stacey,
struggle
come
with
to the
your
mic there.
if you do struggle with your water intake, you can put in make a massive jug of water and put in some mint, some cucumber, a little bit of orange, peel, that kind of thing, just to give that little bit of taste. But yeah, even if you just try and drink an extra, 250 mils a day, start off with that, and then work your way up. So obviously we don't want you to go, drink 3 litres, because for you that's probably not going to be, you're not going to be able to do that. But if you can try and increase,
have a bottle
200
with you
mils,
everywhere. Yeah.
Each day, that will then help you.
Cool. Yeah. Keep bottles in the car and that sort of stuff. Maria. Yep. For you, so what you'll do, you generally, if you...
I didn't hear the question properly.
Yes, she's feeding 5 to 7 people. How she does enter that into her fitness pal to begin with.
Yeah, so basically what you need to do is measure all the food as, just say you've made a lasagna, for argument's sake. You need to measure that lasagna as a whole and then divide it by how many servings you can get out of it. So it is a little bit more harder to do that, but that's the way you're going to have to do
honestly,
it.
Start off with being a bit more simple with the foods that you cook, just so you can get the measuring done, you know what I mean? Steak, veggies, rice, stuff like that. You can easily measure that, and you can probably put your portion aside as well. Just when you do cook for everyone, but just have your portion aside, just to make it a bit more simpler. Yeah. Tone. Yep.
Like
Yep.
recipes.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. So yeah, you can make the recipes in MyFitnessPal and use the recipes later as well.
And then you can say how many servings it makes.
Yeah. Cool. Any other questions? Cool. Thank you so much for coming tonight. You know, like our passion here is to teach you and educate you and really allow you to embrace nutrition and live the lifestyle that I've been able to achieve as well as Stacey. So, you know, our knowledge we want to share with you. If you have anything that you need, any questions, any concerns, you're unclear about anything, please hit us up on the BR Nutrition Support page because we want to be able to help you succeed. Yeah, more than you know. So, yeah, we're here for you guys. Please let us know if you do need anything. Once again, thank you very much for coming. Hopefully you got something away from it tonight. It was a lot of information in a short amount of time, so we will put a video up so you can have another look at it again. But if you got 5 points out, you know you've made your wife. All right, you've made your wife tonight. You made your life. You made your time worthwhile. And you made a life as well. So guys, thanks very much for coming tonight. Appreciate it. Appreciate your support. Yeah, and just try, implement it, give it a go. All right, that's my words of wisdom. Stacey, you have anything to say?
Yeah, just thanks for coming. And yeah, if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate because there's a chance that the question that you're thinking, someone else is also thinking it as well. So don't be shy.
All right, awesome stuff, guys. Have a nice night.